Hello there, and welcome to my build guide for the Blackbird. This ship is full of mod parts, but doesn't have much in the way of glitches, so if you're just getting to grips with the ship builder and mods, this is nice and simple. The ship packs a punch, destroying multiple enemies with ease, even on very hard or extreme. But still being very manoeuvrable, and with a long boost and a very quick recharge, this ship can get you out of any dangerous situation. I've included a parts and mods list just in case you need something to refer to. The mods are not all required, they're just what I currently have active. Equipping these mods will mean all parts required will be available to you at your outpost if you have a large landing pad. I'd also recommend maxing out your piloting skills and your starship design. I've separated all the parts around the build area for ease. I know some tutorials go into the parts list and grab them, but to be honest my memory isn't great and you don't want to watch me scrolling. I've gone for the 120 LD landing bay totally for aesthetic reasons. Same with the Deimos habs, I quite like the look of them. Looking at the living quarters 2x2, I like the large area it offers when entering from the landing bay. Adding in the all-in-one berth 2x1 adds a little extra space. The 2x1 armory next, just offset from the two habs just installed, and then the captain's living quarters on the other side to replicate the shape. The last two habs to install is the computer core to create the spine of the ship, and then the control station which will lead onto the cockpit. Now I've gone for the Deritech cockpit because I like the look of it, although the glass that goes at the front is separate and I've not figured out how to change the colour on that yet. It doesn't seem to work on my system, they all look the same. Next we're over to the landing gear, which is the NG20. I've got 4 of those. Weirdly this build only needs the 4, so they can be placed on the spine of the ship. Should leave one extra mounting point just next to the cockpit. Next is to build the wings. You're going to need the Avon-Tech keel. Strangely, placing the keel further forward means that the outer keel and hood are actually placed further back. So that's the position that you want to put it in. If you place it further back, weirdly they're actually forward from that point and the ship looks slightly off. Putting the top inner hood on means that you're able then to place the outer keel underneath, and if the keel slightly sticks out the back of the habs, then you've got it in the right place. The top hood goes on, and if you see those little wings sticking out the top like that, you've got it in the right place. Replicate that on the other side with the inner lower keel there, and then the top hood. Again, when placing the top hood, the outer hood, providing you've got those little wings sticking up there, you've got it in the right place. Next is over to the glowing radiators. They should snap straight into the top of the hood, right at the back there. Replicate the placement on the other side as well. Next it's over to the reactor. Now I've gone for this reactor because it gives you an insane amount of power. And same with the grab drive, it is just a single layer but still gives you over 30 light years jump range. The Avon Tech wings give you the effect of the tail at the back of a plane, which I think works well with the ship build. Once you've got the tail on, then you'll want the additional Avon Tech hood, which will snap nicely just in front of the grav drive there, just glitching slightly into it. No glitch required to get that in there, but it fits, and then the last glowing radiator should snap nicely right in the centre of that. Again, no glitch needed for that at all. I think that's the benefit with using some of these mod parts, which you'll find if you try and jump on top of your ship later on. Next we're looking at the Avon Warp engines. They're nice and easy to attach, just straight at the back of the ship. They should attach nicely on the back of the habs. We're only using 2 of those because that is enough power. And onto the glowing wings. Now here I'm trying to fit the Deritech cowl in, completely forgetting I need to fit a part before I actually put those in. And that's the large tanks. Now I chose these because at the back, when you look, they're actually lit up as well, and I quite like that effect at the back of the ship. It's got 2 of those to place, and they're actually quite easy to fit directly at the back of the ship. They'll glitch slightly into the wings, but they should fit nicely. Once they're in place, you should be able to fit the parts that I was trying to fit a moment ago, which is the cowl in. They will fit just below the engines that you've just placed. There is a slot to fit them above that. That's not where you want to put them. It's just underneath the engine, just to add that extra sort of angular look at the back of the ship. Same with the cowlins, which are upright rather than upside down. They fit just at the back, just in front of the wings that we fitted earlier. They again will glitch just slightly into the wings, but no glitch is required to make those fit. Then onto the Avon Tech intakes. They're a bit awkward to fit, but they do snap on quite easily once you find the right place. They just fit one on top of the other on the 2 little mounting points on top of the grav drive and the reactor. Now unfortunately, this was an addition at the end of the build, and I didn't realise that I needed to remove the cowling that we placed earlier to make those fit. So let's pop the cowling off, place those on, which should snap on straight away, and then the cowling should snap straight back in place because there is a mounting point on the top of one of the habs as well, if I can get it to fit. That is. Well done to me. Looking at the side of the wings, using the dual wing, there are 2 mounting points on the side of the wing. you want to use the front one for the dual wing. Possibly not this view if you're using it. And then place the additional tail there, which should snap straight in. Replicate the design on the other side. Again, the dual wing on the front mounting point on the side of the wing, and then just replicate the other side nice and easy. Now the shield I've gone for gives me an absolutely insane amount of health. You don't have to do that, you can choose a shield of your choice, but that one is side mounting, and due to the placement of the weapons mount, it's pretty well hidden, so I'm not particularly that fussed about it. Now I've gone for 4 of the glowing weapons mounts with the auto projectors and the PBO 100s, 175s as well. They all look the same when they fire, so I'm not particularly fussed where I place them, because they're all coming out fairly equal anyway. But if you want to make sure that they're all fairly equal, that's completely up to you. We've got 2 that are based inside the wings, and then 2 which are just coming out of the habs. I had trouble placing these because I wasn't looking what I was doing, but they do snap quite nicely in place, as you can see, just covering up the shield generator there. And because they're the white glowing variant, they add a nice little bit of light coming out the front of the ship there. Can't really see it from this angle, but if you're up close it does look quite good. Now just to finish off the spine of the ship, you're left with the docker module, this double hull, and then this great big core there. Now weirdly, placing that first is the only way to actually get all 3 in place, so you need to place that, and sadly it does glitch slightly into the hab and the cockpit. The next is the docker. Now there is a couple of points you can place it on. I generally go for the second one along, because that puts it inside the hab nicely with a nice ladder, and then I add the double hull in. Now the reason I do this is it adds this lovely bar with a light based in it along the side of the ship there. I felt it was a bit bare without it, so I placed that in. Now for some reason, when I've done this build and I've broken it down and rebuilt it about 5 times trying to create this tutorial, it always deletes these last 2 items. Not sure why, and for some reason I can't then flip them, so I have to grab each one and place it on the side of the ship there. And once that's done, you can see it says nominal, which is absolutely fantastic. You've got 30 light years jump, mobility is 100, top speed is 300, which is absolutely insane. Shield is nearly 8,000. The boost on this, I was getting about 1550, which will get you out of any dangerous situation. Now once you've built it to this point, it's not going to look like this. You'll need to paint it. Mine I've gone for is black, because I like the contrast between the black and the blue. Weirdly, the cockpit is a darker black, not sure why, but yours, once you've built it to this point, will be a lovely orange and grey colour, which wasn't my taste, if I'm totally honest. But that should work for you now. If there are any errors, then go back over the build. I had a few when I was building it, but just trying to figure out exactly what was going on. Going into the ship through the docker we placed, we open up into the 2x2. As I said earlier, I quite like this one. It gives you a nice open space to come into, especially with your companions wandering around. They like to gather in front of the ladder as you come up, which is really hard to get past, with the armory on one of the wings. And then over to the other wing there. So you've got lots of nice open space for your companions to wander around in. Into the computer core, nice open space. I quite like the way it moves into the next section. As I said earlier, it glitches slightly into the control station and the cockpit, and that's the docker there. It doesn't particularly bother me. It might bother you, so you could try something slightly different on the neck of the ship. But I just want to show you, you can move around fairly easy, and I fell off. There you go. But it's a lovely cockpit, nice open space, multiple areas, and it's just a lovely ship to fly, really. I quite enjoy it. So that's my build guide for this ship. I do hope you give it a go, because it is a lovely ship to fly, very quick. But if you have any questions, you can always just pop me a message online. Thank you very much for watching.